Hey everyone, today's video is about children and why I chose not to have them. This is a video that has been much requested by viewers of several videos that I've posted. So let's get right into the topic, why I chose not to have children. So first and foremost, I want to put it out there that I believe parenting is an incredibly important job. It's a labor of love, and it is not something I take very lightly. And that is exactly why I personally chose not to have children. Now, I certainly celebrate all of those parents out there who love being parents and who take a very conscious approach, a mindful approach to the way they raise their children. Thank you so much for putting well-adjusted, great humans into the world. So why didn't I? Now, this is an answer that has many layers to it. First and foremost is that there was a lot I wanted to do in life. A lot that would be extremely changed or influenced by having to bring a child along to do such things. And in some cases, I wouldn't be able to do it. So that was something to consider. Another was that I wasn't certain that I wanted to bring children into the world with the direction that it's going. I knew that maybe my biggest contribution would be to help others in some form, and maybe I'm doing that through YouTube now, I don't know. But I knew I wanted to make a positive impact on the world, and just on the people around me, but I didn't think that my way of doing it in this lifetime was through children. I will admit the idea of giving birth and being pregnant does not appeal to me in the slightest. I think it's a beautiful thing, but it's not something I personally want to experience, and still do not. Another major factor in this is that I have very strong ideas about how I would raise children if I had them, which is quite strange considering that I don't want them. I adore children, but I don't necessarily want to raise my own. And one of the things is that my opinion about raising children and my perspective on it grew very strong after reading A.S. Neill's book called Summerhill, and that's A.S. Neill, N-E-I-L-L, A.S. Neill, and his book is called Summerhill, and it's named after his school that he founded in the UK. And he really, in that book, he talks about this democratic free school that he created, and now there are tons of them all over the world, but the one that he created, even though he has long since passed, it is run by his daughter, at least the last time I checked. And it was about creating a place to help young children become healthy, happy, well-adjusted human beings, and to not necessarily follow what society has set out for them, but to give them the skill set to follow whatever interests them. And so after reading that book, I told myself that if I ever met someone whom I loved that wanted to have children, and I believed that they could parent the way Neil encourages, and I'm laughing and I'm smiling because it's a really tall order, and work remotely and travel, and then also do some homesteading for, several months a year, say 9 out of 12 months a year, then I might consider it. I might. But I have never come across such a person that I believe that was capable of doing all those things, but also meshing with my energy and my energy meshing with theirs. So there that is. That was like the fraction of 1% chance that I would consider having children, and I didn't. So I just wanted to say that this is no criticism of the parents out there. This is simply my preference. I don't believe that just because women exist, they owe the world children. That is very archaic. I think being a mother is a beautiful thing. I think it is a valuable thing, but I just don't think it's right for me. And I find it very interesting when others try to impose their ideas on me and telling me what I should and shouldn't do. I find it even more amusing when strangers do that. You know, I will never forget being in a pub in the UK and being, you know, let's just say several decades younger than I am now, and visiting with some friends after not seeing them for a while, and a bunch of us were meeting at a pub, and one of my guy friends was just asking me about life and how it's been and which countries I've been in, what I've been up to, and he said to me, "So when are you going to get married and have kids? Clock's is ticking." And I was in my 20s, and he's telling me my clock is ticking. And that just goes to show you where society is still at. I know that was a couple decades ago, but society really hasn't changed that much. And to think that it has is funny to me, because it hasn't. I still get those questions all the time. You still have some years left in you. And the people who say that just know, because a lot of the women in my family have had children very late in life. So anyway, just to put a different spin on things, again, this is no criticism of anyone who has chosen to be a parent. This is simply my reasoning for not doing so myself. You know, I really believe in that whole concept of living life as you see fit. This is not a one-size-fits-all world, and I really encourage you to pursue whatever life path feels right for you, whether that means being a parent, not being a parent, getting married, not being married, following a career, not following a career, traveling the world, staying in one place. It doesn't really matter. What really matters is that you are content with your choices and you feel fulfilled and you feel happy. And I can say that several decades on from that conversation with that guy, I am still very, very happy with my decision to not have children this time around. So anyway, I hope this answers your questions. Feel free to reach out with your stories and your perspectives on your own lives in the comments section. I always welcome them, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. And a big shout out to my Patreon members, especially to Brian White for joining as a Mountain Dispatch benefactor. If you want to join us, the link is in the description box or on the main page. Thanks so much.